Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I'm not sure where you are today, coming to you live from Houston. And welcome to Conversations with Geoff. And we want to thank all of you that are scheduling your time today that will join us or catching the replay later, right? We understand how busy you are and how many choices you have to listen and entertain yourself. So we really value your time and participation. And as you hop on, just a couple of reminders because this conversation, although virtually, we really want to hear from you, who you are, where you're from, and please, as the conversation goes, drop any comments or thoughts you have, and show our guest speaker some love, man. We were just talking before I came, we went live, and I mean, this lady is dynamite, right? I mean, she really kind of is the ideal person that we like to have with conversations with Geoff, right? And because who we like to speak to are folks seeking empowering, encouraging messages, not only from me, but our guests, right? To offset the crazy times we face, anywhere in the world, pick something, whether it's social, health, or even Hollywood. I'm just going to say Hollywood and we'll leave it at that. We all know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, all that chatter, that external noise, right? And man, it can be a downer. And, as my name, by the way, is Geoff Tyson. And as a self-development person and an entrepreneur, we wanted to create something, and our mission is based off of what we created. Our mission is to inspire, encourage, and remind folks that no matter how much chatter is going on the outside, that you make a choice to participate in that, right? So how much of that are you doing that you could do something else for, right? That's the first question I have for you. Because, when you come to Conversations with Geoff, we want to love on you, but we want to challenge you too. We want you to leave with something that you can do and have an impact on your life immediately, right? So that's the first question I have for you. But the other thing, and the most important thing is that the conversations that we have with ourselves about ourselves is the most impactful and the most empowering tool that we all have to change our situation and change it instantly. Okay? So, but we don't get a day off from doing that. I'm going to say that again. When you feel like hitting the snooze button and you hit it 5 or 6 times and you're supposed to be somewhere and now you're not going to get that cup of coffee or your breakfast because you're in a rush and then the traffic jam kind of holds you up and you end up being late. Oh, anybody have that experience? Ooh, okay, so that's a choice. How do you respond? I know when I'm in that situation, I'm already off tilt. So I always want to try and find time to get back into the piece where I can reset my day, right? Because we can make a decision. It's up to us to do that. We must show up and learn to control, be aware of the conversations that we have with ourselves and some things that we can do about that. And listening to our guests is going to really enlighten you with some things that, again, you can do right away and make that choice better and easier each and every day to improve your day. So without that, let me just give you a quick bio on our guest. She's living in Minnesota now, but she's been a world traveler. I believe she's lived in visited 5 continents and lived in 3 different countries. And she's a mom. She's a, educator. She homeschools her kids. She's an entrepreneur, and her journey has taken her through so many things that we all can relate to. So, I want to just everybody do me a favor again. Turn off your notifications off, turn off your email, your phone, set everything down, get close and get comfortable. Not too comfortable when you start snoring now, but get to where you can participate in this message today. Ladies and gentlemen, for no further ado, let me bring to the stage my friend and our guest speaker today, Laura Harstad, coming from Minnesota, baby. Let's see if we can get her on here. Come on, let's go, Laura. Yeah, there we are.
Hello. Thank you, Geoff.
You're welcome.
It's great to be back.
Glad to have you back. No doubt about it. Our conversation before we started, people were saying hi to you as we get started already. And it's really just continue that, right? Full transparency, folks. I don't know if you guys heard all of our stuff before we went live or not. If so, I hope you enjoyed it.
And I love what you were saying about making choices. And I was just it made me think back, the last couple of years. I bet a lot of us have made huge choices that we never expected to make in our lives.
Yeah, no doubt. No
It's
doubt.
just been years of choices now. Do we go visit this person? Do we stay home? Like just things you never thought you'd have to think about.
Yeah. Took for granted so many things in life.
Right.
And
Yes.
now, I mean, like you were saying, and your life has had some choices, big choices,
Hmm.
right? And we hope that we have, with the time we have, to touch on a couple of them. Because I think and we talked about it earlier, the power in your message is in the journey,
Yes.
right? So as we have folks on here that are really kind of like, oh man, I'm not sure if I can be a business owner, or I love my job, or I'm a mom, I'm super busy, so kind of wherever you want to start in that
Okay.
way. I think it fits with you. So
Yeah. Well, and you've been part of my journey quite a while now.
yeah,
We met back, we were in the same group. I had my own interview show at the time, and you were a guest on my show, and then I've been a guest on your show. And,
yeah,
that was kind of the start of a completely new life for me, right around when we met,
yeah.
because I had been, for almost a decade, I had been a teacher. For
Mhm.
almost a decade, I had been working for a nonprofit organization. And then these two incredible boys joined our family from
Yeah,
China, and
yeah,
that completely changed our lives. So
yeah.
then I was a mom, and we have an 11 and a 14-year-old.
Mhm.
And I knew that life needed to change.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit at a computer and put in the hours that were needed for the nonprofit job, even though I loved it. It's an
Mhm.
incredible organization
Yeah.
that I was working for. But I just, as I thought about it more and more, I was like, okay, I need to do something different. And what is that?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
in the group that we were in, I just learned about the possibility of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, I think I could actually do this. And I was fired up and excited about it. And
Yeah.
I tried a bunch of different things. And like you had mentioned, the journey is really where it's at.
Yeah.
That's Don't worry too much about the destination. Just
Mhm.
enjoy each step of the journey. And I've been really thinking about that lately, because the journey that I took into entrepreneurship, it didn't seem like it made any sense, because I didn't know what I was going to do. So I just
Yeah.
started trying things.
Oh, I love it. I
And I
love it.
just have to say, if you're not sure what to do, just start trying something.
Mm.
Take
Mm.
action.
Yeah.
It'll lead to somewhere. You don't know where yet.
I love that. Take some action. Don't be
Yeah,
afraid. Yeah. Do it afraid. Right?
right.
Do it scared, as my niece says. Do
Yeah,
it
and
scared.
you will be. But nothing changes if you don't take action. It'll be the same.
Yeah.
Your life won't change unless you try something new.
Wow.
So you just have to take that step. And then, each step of the journey, new doors will open. You meet new people, like I met you.
Yeah.
And it just, every step makes your life a little bit different, and opens, like I said, opens those new doors.
Yeah.
So it's been a
Yeah.
long journey, but I've loved my journey, and it got me to where I am today.
Well, yeah, and I'm so glad I was part of your journey, because I'm going to go back, take you back to how we met, and I think you kind of you hadn't stepped into the world of entrepreneurship
Right.
yet, right? And you were, I think, learning something new, like I was,
Yes.
and I was impressed by how you I followed your lead, right? And I'm one that, I just make a decision to do it. But I saw you, you didn't let the struggles, the fear, and all that, and that's what I admired the most. So can you talk just
Oh,
about
thanks.
how that experience was for you? Because I remember, yeah, it was powerful.
Well, it's interesting because, like you said, you are afraid. There's that fear inside because you're doing something you've never done before. And I think what you're afraid of is the outcome, what will
Mm,
happen.
mm,
You're
yeah,
afraid of the unknown, really, you
yeah,
know. And then suddenly there's a lot that's not in your control,
yes,
because you don't know what's going to happen.
yes,
I'm here talking with you. And when I first started my journey, I was completely terrified
mm,
to be on video or to go live or anything like that. And so I actually jumped into this group that helped you overcome that fear of
Yeah.
going live on video, and you could go live in the group and you're in a safe place. And so I was able to practice there. And then after that is when I launched my interview show.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it was that behind the scenes work. I think all of us who are in the entrepreneurship world, who are business owners, there's so much behind the scenes work that we're doing. And 90% of it is on mindset.
Yeah.
You figure out what your business is, you figure out an offer, but it's never going to happen if your mindset isn't ready for it.
Oh, that's so powerful, and that's why we always start off with some kind of thought, in our
Yeah.
conversations, because it's the reality of it is you said something. I'm going to repeat it because I love it. You said behind the scenes, and what came to mind for me is, what are you doing when no one's watching?
Right.
What are you shooting those 1,000 foul shots like Michael Jordan, right? Are you getting in a group, of people that are scared like you to do live videos like I saw you do? And then all of a sudden I see you launching this show, and I'm saying, Laura!
Yeah. Just have to do it.
You did it, right? And it helped me do it. Tell you the truth.
And you are fantastic at this.
Oh, man, you are so kind.
I feel so comfortable talking to you.
Well, I like to hear that, because what you see is what you get, and I feel the same with you. Even though we were laughing before we went live about, hey, one day we'll meet eventually. but it's like we kind of grew up together already, man. So
Yeah.
you can't let virtual disconnect be the reason not to connect. So I'm sorry, this is not the Geoff show. It's Laura. Talk to us.
No, it's a conversation, but
Yeah.
I don't need to share all the steps of my journey, but I tried probably about 5 different things at least. And a lot of it centered on virtual. And I jumped into my entrepreneurship journey right before everything shut down.
Mm.
And so one of the things that I did was just virtual events, planning things. I loved talking to people. I loved hearing their story.
Yeah.
And I wanted to inspire people, and kind of similar to your mission as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help the world become a little bit better, a little bit brighter,
Yeah.
and add more joy to people's lives. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And I've realized I absolutely love hearing other people's stories and helping them share their story.
Mm.
And with my interview show, that was a big part of it. I wanted to hear their story. Everybody's interesting to me. I know that I can learn something from every single person that I meet.
Wow.
So I just love that part of life.
Yeah.
Whoever you meet can be a teacher to you. I truly believe that.
No, that's funny you say that, because my wife and I always try to stay curious rather than judgmental. No matter what the encounter is, because you never know. I mean, I talked to some people about some things that were just like, wow, that's creative, or wow, I never thought of that, or I mean, just, I didn't go into the conversations with that intent. That's just what happens, and how we've grown is through conversation. But I want to ask you something, though. This kind of goes back. You mentioned the boys and when they came into your life. I mean, how can you share how that was? Because besides the joy, now you have this responsibility. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think anybody who's a parent, when you have kids, like, your life changes because your focus is now on them. How can you help them? How can you support them? How can you open the doors for their totally unique journey in life so that they can be successful and be the most amazing version of themselves? So I think, as parents, your brain just totally shifts and it's less on your journey and more on theirs. And so I think, that has guided a lot of our decisions. You had mentioned we homeschool now, and that's kind of a new thing where, this is near the end of year 2. So that I am so glad that we made that decision, though. And I'm also grateful that we can. I know some people would want to and they don't have the choice. So I'm just grateful we can actually homeschool. My husband's a teacher.
Okay.
So I can be home.
Yeah.
And it's just such a blessing to be able to connect with my kids like that and to have more time with them, because they joined our family. They were both 9 years old. And so I feel like it's just the fast track of parenting. We
Yeah.
already have a teenager. We're already jumping it. We
Yeah.
totally skipped
Yeah,
the
yeah,
diaper stage. Like, I don't have any of that
yeah.
experience.
That's not a bad thing, the diaper.
Maybe not.
Trust me, no, it's not.
Yeah. And so I want as much time with them as
Mm,
possible, and to give them as much support as they need, because if you imagine moving from one country to another country and you
yeah.
don't know the language, if you put yourself in their shoes, it's just a totally overwhelming experience.
Oh, yeah.
And I am just so amazed with how much they've learned in such a short amount of time. I love them so much. They're just the most amazing humans on
Yeah.
this planet.
Go
And
ahead, man.
I just so much joy, like being able to be their mom
Yeah,
and be part of their lives, that,
yeah,
it's such a journey to go on, because it's not just our lives, it's the life that they had in China, and connecting both. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's together now. We are a
Yeah.
Chinese American family, and
Oh,
it's
man.
just an incredible experience. So I'll just stop there. I could go on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, come on, more, more. I mean, you just feel your love and your energy from that, and I'm so happy for you, I mean, it's like, wow. Mm. Well, give them a hug from
Yeah.
me, if you would, please. Tell them Uncle Geoff from Houston,
Right. I will.
and send them some love. Right,
Yeah.
right. So that happened, and then now teaching. Did you ever think while you were teaching that you'd be homeschooling your kids, or
I I had no idea. I'm not really I know what's going to happen in the future kind of person.
okay.
I live for the day. Every day, okay, I've got today. But I'm glad that I was a teacher, because then
Yeah,
I felt more confident
yes.
taking on homeschooling. But I have to say, I have quite a few siblings who also homeschool, and I've been on the phone with them quite a bit, getting advice and
Okay.
making sure I'm doing what I need to do. And that has been amazing. So I have my own community to
Nice.
help. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I like about you. You always reach out to get some support in areas that
Mhm.
you need.
Absolutely.
And so, and it led you to some things we want to talk about in a moment. So I always like to ask, in these conversations, when all this stuff we're smiling and we're beamed up, could you share though a moment that someone in the audience may hear later that could have been that obstacle, could have been that block or roadblock that kept you from sitting here in front of me with bright smile and love? Can you pick something? I know you got many, but
Yeah.
something,
I think all of us experience so many roadblocks, and we usually hide them. It's not like, hey, everybody on Facebook, I'm really struggling today. You tend to not post that. But I would say, just with this entrepreneur journey, you know, one of my roadblocks was just figuring out, where do I fit in? How
Mm.
can I help people in a confident way? Using
Yeah,
my
yeah.
skills. It's just figuring out, as with any new entrepreneur, what's my business? What do I do? How do I
Yeah.
help? What's my offer? And like I said, I tried so many different things and nothing quite settled in.
Mm.
And so I think, I've had a lot of moments of just, is this ever going to work? What am I supposed to do here?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
And then a powerful question, but how long do you entertain those thoughts? Obviously not long. What did you do to kind of
Well,
offset that, to
yeah,
quiet that?
I've learned that I can't stay in that space for long. I have to take action. That's
Yeah,
how I get out of it. And
yeah,
so it's just doing something.
yeah,
At the beginning, I had no idea, and I thought, well, it was after COVID had kind of started, and I knew people were really struggling, and I was like, okay, how can I add more joy to their life?
yeah.
And I thought, well, I know how to host online events. And so I just planned it, and I just did it.
Wow.
And I became friends with so many people from that event, especially the speakers. And
Yeah,
I'm still very connected to them today. And, it's just because I decided to take action. I had no idea what was going to happen from it. I wanted to just add more joy. And so
yeah,
I think, just taking action, like I said at the very beginning, that's how you get out of those places of, just feeling down and
yeah. So,
questioning everything.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you never do anything. But you said
Yeah.
something. You had that little why. You wanted to bring joy to people's
Yeah.
lives. And that didn't matter. And then the decision, that you made, follow that. And then you worried about the how later. And that's what I saw you do when we met. I said, that's my kind of person. Because I'm that way. So I hope people hear that message. Don't feel like you have to have everything. Take action.
Won't.
Be uncomfortable and know that certainty is a good thing, right? And we all can just take action. So that was great. So now and you're moving along. Your mom now. You've gone through these 5 things. So tell us where you landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm smiling so big, because I finally found it. That spot. I found it. So this is just such an exciting time right now for me, because actually I have always loved photography. I'll just say that. Like, I've been a photographer as a hobby for decades. It's just, I love it. I take pictures at all of the family gatherings. I see the world through pictures. I see, oh, that's a wonderful picture. Oh, I want to get that picture. I want to get, I just see the world through that.
Yeah.
And I love just capturing moments. I actually have a pretty terrible memory. And so I think that connects with it, that when I take pictures of something, then it lasts, and then I can go look at the picture and then I remember that moment. So that's really important to me personally, just to capture those.
That's how, I mean, because they mean something. Do they mean something different to you every time you look at them? Or
I think so.
Yeah.
As you grow, you can look back and remember something from childhood through a picture that you think about it differently as you get older.
Yeah. So now you're doing something interesting, man. I told my wife about it and I couldn't really explain it.
Yeah.
Virtual headshots.
Right. So what I ended up doing is last November, I was kind of between ideas. I don't know how else to say that.
I like that.
And I had actually talked myself out of photography in the past. Even at the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, I talked myself out of it because you Google it and you see it's a saturated market. You're going to struggle. It's not very encouraging, because there are a lot of photographers. You look up in your city, there's probably a list of, 50 photographers you could book for something. And then November came and something, I don't quite know what it was, but it just clicked on, like, wait a second, why aren't you doing this thing that you love?
Wow.
You can figure out a way.
Wow.
So that was a very powerful moment for me.
Wow. You remember the time frame and man, that is, I hope people hear that message those of you on here now and those who will hear it later, because it is as simple as that. Powerful.
Yeah.
So
I was my own worst enemy. I talked myself out of this incredible thing for too long. But like I said, the journey had to happen.
Yes.
I didn't start my journey thinking, I want to be a photographer. I had to work through it. I had to work through a lot of things with my mindset, learning about how to run a business. I had to get there first.
Yeah.
And then that event I mentioned about joy, one of the speakers, I'd stayed in touch with her, and I messaged her like, hey, I'm starting this new journey as a photographer. And I wasn't even quite sure what type of photography. I was like, I don't know, real estate photography? I'm not sure. And she connected me with this person on Instagram who was doing virtual photo shoots.
Yeah.
And then that's the huge light bulb moment. Like, wait a second, virtual, I got that. I can do virtual. And so I learned what I could about virtual photography, and I launched my virtual photography studio. And it's branding photo shoots, it's portraits, it's getting all the pictures that you need for your website, for social media, a variety, and it's all virtual. I've had clients in multiple countries, and can you tell, like, I absolutely love it?
Man, because we were in that timing is everything, right? And
yes.
We are really why I was like, man, I really got to understand this, because we need photo, whatever that you just mentioned, headshots, right? Because my stuff is old and gray, and so love to connect. I mean, and put your information in the chat. I think we have it to do that because so just really quickly, and I know I don't want to take too much time, but how do you get a headshot? I mean,
Right.
how does that
So
work?
it's pretty simple. I know it seems like it shouldn't be able to happen, but there's an app that my clients download on their phone. And then when
Okay.
it's time, they join my photo session. We just join the same room. And then that allows me to take the pictures through their phone. So
Wow.
I tell them like where to put the phone. I find the right lighting. And so, you need some sort of stand or something to put the
Yeah.
phone on. But I
Right.
just coach them through everything. I guide them through all the poses. I guide them where to put the phone. It's like a regular photo shoot. I'm just not there in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
it works perfectly.
yeah, but you connect them into the process though.
Yeah.
I mean that's even better. That's really clever.
Yeah. So
Wow.
anywhere in the world, you can update your pictures. And, I am focused on like entrepreneurs, business owners, just helping them because I want people to be able to grow their businesses. I know how hard it is. And so
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
special heart for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got that. And people were saying hi to you, and they love that idea. And Dr. Kate, Tatum, and Steph, we appreciate your support there. And I want to don't get too far off into the chat, so you'll lose me. Like, bring me where you go.
That's great.
But yeah, well, go ahead. So how do I mean, people contact you, and then you go into all the details, right? About cost.
Yeah, there's choices.
Okay.
You can do kind of a mini photo shoot if you just need a few photos. And if you want a variety of photos, then there's a branding photo shoot available that's 3 hours. So that'll give you plenty of photos to use. So I've got choices for everybody. And I wanted to share what I love about this too, back
Yeah.
to, the reason I started my interview show.
Please.
I love telling stories. And then I realized, wait, I can tell stories. I can help people tell their story
Yeah.
through pictures.
Yeah.
So I feel this kind of full circle thing coming here. I've always loved helping people share their story, and now I'm doing it through photography.
Yeah, yeah. And I was telling you about the art show that my wife and I attended last week
Yeah.
in Houston, and photography art where they travel and, like you're saying, they take these pictures of their travels. And anybody that's been in that space knows what we're talking about here. I mean, I felt like I was getting ready to go down, the Swiss Alps, right, and was scared to death because it was just that graphic and that powerful, man. And you said your boys are now doing it with you?
Yeah, so my youngest son is really getting into photography, so he got a camera for Christmas. And so we go out walking around town and we stop and I take pictures and he takes pictures and then we can kind of compare, our different views of the same place and it's never the same.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
cool thing about photography. It can really just tell a story. It's not just taking a picture, it's telling a story every
yeah,
time.
yeah, 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 yeah. So if you were, and I know this is kind of abstract, but this is how my brain works. So visualize with me. Take a picture of the world today, and then tell us what can you do and leave with us that we could take away that quiets the noise, eliminates some of the distraction. Kind of take me
Yeah,
this storyteller. I love your story, so let's talk
that's a good question. And the thought that came to mind is you deserve to be seen.
about it. I'm
You
writing,
all
I'm
do.
taking notes by the way, so I'm you deserve to be.
You do.
Wow, wow, wow. So where did that come from, Laura? Where do you think that came
There's a quote that I have on our wall, and it's you are loved, you are seen, and you can do brave things.
from?
And I want my kids to just embody that in their lives, and I want to empower them to feel that. And I feel that for every single person on earth that
Yeah,
they are loved, they are seen, they can do brave things. And so I think, photos I think empower that, but it's just most of all is the connection that I have with the people that I have my photo shoots with. I become friends with most of them
yeah,
and stay connected, just like you and I have stayed connected. And
yeah,
it's building your community and it can be global now. It's so easy to be global, but it's just helping people know they matter.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the brave piece in there is
Yeah.
so powerful. And I'm trying to remember. I've got stuff on our mirror, and it's one of them is do something today that shows my braveness or something like that.
Yeah.
And because the fear of versus taking the risk holds so many people back. But when they hear your message today, I know that it's going to touch some lives, and people are going to do what you did, right? I mean, kind of the trailblazer. I was calling you the trailblazer all the way back when.
Oh, wow. It doesn't feel like I am. I'm just trying stuff.
Well, but when you have a large group of folks and only one
Yeah.
or two are doing it, I mean, that's the reality of
Hmm.
things. But others need to know that they can do it too. And if
They
you
can.
people are listening to Laura and feeling her message today, man, she is smashing. In my opinion, smashing excuses about being a mom or not knowing what to do. I heard her say a couple of things, and if I can brag on you a little bit, Laura, about making a decision, right? I mean, she's like, oh, I want to do this, and then she made a decision, right? And so, man, and it's been how I've gotten to know you, and how I'm looking forward to continuing to share our journey together, right?
Yes,
And
definitely.
so now your husband, he's a teacher,
He's a music teacher.
music teacher.
Yes.
Really, my granddaughter plays the clarinet.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I love sitting there listening to her learn how to play it and all that. So I have to tell her, man, okay, all right. Now, how long has he been a music teacher?
His whole career. So
Oh,
a long time. He has a doctorate in
oh,
it. And we have concerts this weekend. We're performing Vivaldi's Gloria with orchestra. So
whoa.
it's, our life has a lot of music in it, and our kids are used to going to concerts.
Oh man, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, we just actually went to a musical last night. My wife and I, Wednesday date night. I think it was all that jazz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that was
Good music.
great music. The music and the dancing was just off the charts, right?
Yeah.
And the comedy in it too. I was thinking, oh man, a musical. It's Wednesday, right? But we had the best time. It was awesome. So sorry to get off track there.
No, that's true though. Music just brings so much energy to the world.
Yeah,
I think we all use it in some way or another. Some people listen to music before they go live. I know I did quite a few times just to, get that extra boost, a
yes,
little extra energy.
yes. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. So we're kind of winding down. I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to speak to your magic. And I think we're doing that. And I just love how you talk about the fear of the unknown, and what you can do in the dark. And so, um, is there anything that you would do differently, or you wouldn't do again and you learn from that you could share?
I honestly don't think so,
Wow.
because I learned from every single thing, even the hard things.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before we went live, sometimes you learn the most from the toughest moments.
Yes.
So if I didn't have those, then I wouldn't have learned what I needed to learn.
Yeah. 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 What do they say? Without adversity, you wouldn't build courage. Without fear, you wouldn't become brave.
Hmm.
Without doubt, you wouldn't seek the answer. I mean, so those are all
That's powerful.
all real powerful things, and you've done that. And so, anything as we kind of wind down, anything you'd like to, bestow upon us that you haven't already? I know you got a bunch of nuggets in there, and a story that you may share, something to kind of close us out with.
Well, I'll just close with, I know some people kind of choose a word for the year,
Mm.
and my word is joy.
Mm.
So I just hope that all of the people watching just have more joy somehow. And it can be very simple, like focus on that amazing cup of coffee that you have. And little things like that can bring you joy if you notice it and pay
Yeah,
attention to it. And so find some things that bring you joy and put more of that in your life because
yeah,
we could all use a little bit more.
yeah. Find the things in that moment that bring you joy. I love
Hmm.
it. It made me think about something my wife and I were looking at. The little things,
Yeah.
the people that you meet, pay attention to them and be uncomfortable. If you're an introvert, then get in the group of other introverts so you can begin to learn to talk and communicate. There's so many ways that we can get connected and find that joy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a choice that we can make. And I think I started this whole thing out where you have a choice to make today.
Right.
You
Right.
know, right? And what is that choice going to be? Joy in the moment is how I'm going to leave this conversation. And I think I'm going to share that later on today, as a matter of fact. Because as we started out, there's a whole lot of reasons not to be joyful. But
Mhm.
like you just said, find a reason to find some joy. So, man, time just flew by. I was anticipating that. And I'm so happy that you took the time out of your schedule and looking forward to understanding the headshot thing, I'll circle back around and do that. You took away the excuses now. I told my wife I didn't know anybody, so now I do.
Right. It's easy.
Okay, so for those of you that are wondering how to do a business, make sure you re-listen to this later on and reach out to her. Her contact information is in the chat, and I will tell you that if you reach out to her and you do connect with her, that will be one of the better decisions that you have made. So, Laura, listen, much virtual love and hugs to you, my friend. And
Thank you.
tremendous time, as always, chatting it up with you. You take care until we meet again.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a great day.
You do the same. Take care now. Ooh, what did I tell you? You guys thought I was blowing smoke. I mean, we could talk forever, and she's just clearly a person that loves to bring joy. And please, as you hear this, drop, some thoughts and love in the chat later on, and know that anything is possible. We are our biggest roadblocks, and learning how to change the conversation going on in our head is a choice, and it's a choice we all can make. And the benefit of making that choice, the benefit of standing in fear, the benefit of overcoming obstacles, the benefit of showing up when you don't feel like it, the benefit of doing it scared, all those things. You real estate investors that we're working with, you guys know, I want you to hear me when I tell you this. There's no better time getting involved in real estate. I mean, if you're struggling making some decisions or getting deals, all my information is in the chat. We've got all kinds of opportunities to connect in that space. And you folks out there looking to maneuver from corporate America into entrepreneurship, it took me 20 years to do that, but the last 5 years, I really learned how to make that leap, and I can help you with that. And listen to me, folks. There is no better time than now, no matter what it is you choose to do something different. Your family is important. Your health is important. And as our speaker said earlier, look for the joy in life, right? And so we really appreciate your time. Share this when you hear it. Make sure you go and subscribe to Conversations with Geoff and get a hold of Laura, right? I mean, you want to do that. I mean, she's going to pour everything she's got into whatever that is you need if you're looking for headshots. And if you want to get into the business, you're going to need some headshots. Go check them out. All right. So listen, that's all I got for today. Thank everybody for spending, 30, 40 minutes with us today. And make sure you pass this message on to your friends. Come back and listen to it again. There were a lot of nuggets in this short conversation that she left that we all can use. I know I could. I was telling you, I got notes here from this conversation. So have a great Thursday. One more day, or is this the last day in the quarter? Oh, yeah. April Fool's is Friday. Oh, my goodness. Hey, listen, there's $1 million check coming your way. Early April Fools. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Listen, appreciate everybody hanging out with Conversations with Geoff. Don't miss the next episode. And thank you again, my friend Laura Harstad, for dropping some real powerful nuggets. You all take care. Don't make a decision that you regret later. Make the right decision by making a decision. See you later.